Governor laying out his goals last night during his first State of the State address. In fact, we aired it right here on Channel 3. Some of the big talkers cutting taxes and funding our schools.
Tonight we have team coverage of all that. Brett Forrest is standing by with how the governor plans to cut and who that would benefit. But first, Crisis in the Classroom investigative reporter Tiffany Lane here in the studio with more on the specifics of his education funding plan.
Yeah, well, of course, everyone loves more money, especially when it comes to our students and education. With some historic proposals on the table from the state's top boss, the big question is, where will the dollars come from?
Nevada's public schools have been historically underfunded.
Governor Joe Lombardo says he's trying to change that. During his State of the State address, his budget containing $2 billion in new funding for students. Lombardo saying the pandemic created an unprecedented budget surplus. The executive director of the Clark County Education Association, also known as CCA or the Teachers Union, says this is significant.
He's proposing, levels that are unprecedented. We applaud that. It's going to raise the basic per pupil funding level in our state by over $2,000.
Right now, with state and local contributions, per pupil funding is just over $10,000. The additional money would bring us closer to the national average of $13,000. But some are skeptical.
I'm curious as to where he thinks that money is going to come from. So he needs to show us how he actually proposes to get there.
As far as teacher retention, Lombardo proposed $730 million to a rainy day fund to get Nevadans teaching in our classrooms and allowing retired educators to get both retirement and a salary to address the immediate shortage.
I think what the governor proposed were some aspects of trying to, in the short run, deal with the high vacancy rate, but I think it's a more strategic approach.
Velardita says the teachers need a longer-term approach.
So we're proposing legislation that says over a multi-year period, how do we build a pipeline, starting with creating teacher academies in our high schools, all 49 high schools.
As far as school choice, Lombardo says he will submit legislation to create the Office of School Choice. Lombardo also proposing more opportunity scholarships where certain low-income families can access a scholarship to attend a private school of their choice. The reactions are divided.
It's all the same. It's fancy words for what they mean for vouchers and the privatization of our public school system. Our belief at Battle Born Progress is that no public money should ever go to private schools, period.
Valeria Gurr says opportunity scholarships should be seen as different than vouchers.
They're trying to say that the funding comes from the same educational budget, where the money comes from public schools, and it doesn't. This comes from a different, completely separate account.
Gurr says she's been fighting for opportunity scholarships for years now and is grateful to the governor.
He is saying that he would be expanding the program to $50 million for the biennium, so $25 million per year. It is an average scholarship of $6,000 per kid that are able to use it for a school of their option.
As far as school safety, Lombardo says restorative justice laws, quote, handcuff school teachers and administrators.
And there should be no issue with temporary removal of a disruptive student resulting in an immediate meeting with parents or guardians. If classroom disruptions continue, the student will be expelled.
I think we need to look at the proposals, but I also think we need to talk to actual educators about what they think is best for their classrooms